Church at home. I'm so happy that you can join me for this time to explore and to grow together. This week's special shout out goes to Ben and Nikki and Ivy. So happy that you are here and that we can do this and spend this time together. Wow, this week, have you noticed that the leaves are changing? It sure feels like fall is now here. I went and collected some leaves too. Look at these beautiful colors. We've got all kinds of colors and different shapes and sizes. I just think the fall leaves are so amazing. And you know what's really amazing about them too is that every one of them is different, just like snowflakes. Everyone is created different. Every one of them changes colors in a different way, and they change over their whole life, right? They start really, really tiny, and then they change shape and size and color. I think leaves are just some of the most amazing parts of creation, and this is the most beautiful time of year to admire them and see their beauty. So our theme this week is all about the fall leaves. So I wonder, can you tell me if you know what are leaves good for? Besides picking them up and looking at them, what are leaves good for? I wonder if some of the ideas that you might come up with are things like shade in the summer, or maybe shelter from the rain, colors and beauty in the fall, maybe hiding in them in the fall when we create big piles of leaves maybe. There's all kinds of things that leaves are good for. But have you ever thought about what leaves are good for the tree? Not just for us and for the animals that might live in the leaves or use the leaves, but what are they good for the tree? Leaves for the tree, they collect the water and the carbon dioxide, which is part of the air, and the sunlight, and they collect those things and they turn it into food for the tree. So each one of those tiny leaves is responsible for collecting all of that stuff around the tree and turning it into food and growing that huge big tree. And in turn, that tree then acts as shelter and so many other things in the world. But that tree couldn't grow without the hundreds of thousands of tiny little leaves on each of the branches. And that makes me think about church and community and how we are parts of those bigger trees as well. It's like each one of us is like a little leaf. Each one of us is different, and we change over our life, and we bring different things, and we look different, but each one of us collects the things in our environment, and we bring it together to help the tree, our community, be stronger and be more alive. No matter how small or insignificant we might think that one little leaf might be, it's really important to the whole bigger tree. There are so many little things in creation that God has created that are so important to the bigger aspects of creation. So when you go out in the fall and you see each one of these beautiful leaves out there on the ground or in the tree, I want you to remember all the different parts of the Bible that remind us how important the little things are to the health of the bigger things. And to remember that each one of us is like this tiny leaf. Each one of us is different and unique and so important to the bigger parts of creation. So for our craft today, I want to celebrate the beauty and the uniqueness of our fall leaves. So you're going to need an adult with you for today because we need to use a really hot iron. And if you don't have an iron, a hair straightener, or something that has a very hot surface. But this is for the adults to use in your home to help you out. On top of that, you will need to go out, maybe right now, and collect some beautiful fall leaves. Maybe take a walk through your neighborhood, or if you're lucky to have some beautiful leaves in your backyard, that would be great too. But go get a bunch of different colored leaves and different shapes. Let's see, I've got red, and I've got an orange and a yellow, and I have some maple tree leaves. Are you ready? Go get some leaves. Here we go. All right, now that you have your leaves, you also need some wax paper, 2 sheets, and a flat surface. I have an iron board. If you don't have an iron board, then a flat surface with a nice thick towel on it so that the heat doesn't ruin whatever you're going to iron on. The last thing you might want, you can add some different things to your piece of art. So what we're going to be doing is making a collage for the window with our leaves. But you could add some other things into that. So maybe you have some glitter, or maybe you have some old crayons that you could shave to add some extra color into this piece of art. So once you have all your things together, let's get started. Well, it looks like Toby and Pitch might be helping me today with my craft. Let's see, if I throw their toy away, maybe they'll go chasing after that, but they're very curious. I have here, I've got my wax paper, so we're going to put our first piece of wax paper down. I've gone and found a few crayons, and I shaved some crayons, so I have a little bit of fine dust. And the crayons might help to make our wax paper stick together. So if you have some old crayons in your house that you can get a little bit of shavings off of, that would be great to help out, to make it to stick a little bit better. We don't need very much though. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking our leaves and putting them face side down in all kinds of directions. So you want to leave some space where the wax paper will be able to touch so that it has something to attach to. We can put, oh, I've got a nice big red one. Let's put that one there. What do you think, kittens? There we go. So we don't need too many. We just need a few leaves. We've got one more. Let's see if we can fit one more in there. Maybe something like that. Can I make some room for it? There we go. So I've got all the leaves that I want in there. Now I'm going to take some of my Crayon Sprinkles, and I'm just going to sprinkle it. There we go, just a little bit here and there. And if you have any glitter, maybe you want to put a little bit of glitter in here too. Not too much, remember, because we need, oh, the cats are going to help. There we go. So we're going to put a little bit of color in there. Now I don't have any glitter today. I've run out, amazingly. But I think these colors with the crayons will look really neat. And they're going to melt a little bit. So I'm trying to keep the crayons away from the edges of the wax paper because the crayons will melt and those colors will spread, and I don't want them to spread outside of the wax paper. Now I'm going to take my second piece of wax paper and I'm going to lay it on top, just like that. And Pitch is going to help by pushing it down for me. Thank you, Pitch. There we go. So we now have our leaves and our crayon shavings, and if you have some glitter, we have that all in between. Now's the time to go and get your adult to help, because we're going to use a very hot iron, and we're going to iron the 2 sheets of wax paper together. And that should melt the wax on the paper so that it sticks to itself and hopefully sandwich the leaves in between. So let's give this a go. Being very careful. Look at that, you can already see the colors of my crayon shavings, how they're melting and spreading. Isn't that pretty? We want to be careful to keep the heat away from our fingers, away from our cats' noses, since they seem to be very interested in this craft today. Now I'm not going to worry about sealing all the edges because I'm going to trim my wax paper in a little bit, but you might want to try and make it to the very edge of your wax paper if you don't want to trim it. And we're just gonna go over it until it looks like the wax paper is sticking to itself and the leaves are all sandwiched in there. Once it's cooled down, as I said, you can trim the edges. So I have these ripped edges. I'm going to cut mine so that they're more square. So take that edge off. You could also cut this into a shape. Maybe you want to cut it into a heart shape or a circle or a rainbow. I wonder what kind of creative shapes you might want to come up with. Well, that is all trimmed. Now I'm going to turn it over so I can see the front. There is our beautiful piece of leaf art. And now I can go and hang this in a window. Isn't that amazing? If you made some leaf art this week, I would love to see how you made yours your own. What creative things did you find in nature or in your house to make your collage? Please share it with me. I'd love to see pictures of your art. Well, my friends, that's it for this week. Here's our beautiful piece of art. We're going to go hang that in a window. And remember, as we go into our week, that each one of us is like the leaves on a tree. We are all different. We might be small, but we all play such an important part in the health of our family and of our community. And so we can explore the different ways and gifts that we bring to make our family and our community a stronger place. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.